So Willow's rework has finally arrived. After a couple of delays, our beloved pyromaniac finally gets the attention she deserves. If you haven't already, go and watch the animated short that was shipped with the update. It simultaneously managed to answer some questions we had about the lore, while also raising many more. And it looked amazing as well. First of all, we did it, lads. Fire immunity is back. By itself, this perk isn't going to be an immediate game changer for Willow, but with input from the community, I can really foresee some unique combat or even farming strategies on the horizon. Huge thanks to Klei for sifting through the pages and pages of dumpster fire that was people arguing about how Willow should be or whatever. There isn't heaps to talk about here. Fire immunity is just that with no strings attached. One of the main reasons for fire immunity to be added is that there was really no reason for it to be removed in the first place. Apparently, it was overpowered in a PvP setting. First of all, side modes that few people play shouldn't be considered when balancing characters, and second, Wickerbottom and Wolfgang still exist. Willow is now more easily frozen by ice staves or deerclops, for example. This is an incredibly minor perk. There aren't heaps of things in Don't Starve Together that actually freeze a player into a ball of ice. Sure, it'll make fighting deerclops a tiny bit more annoying if you don't build a campfire, but you should be doing that anyway if you're tanking him. I have no problem with this being a lore or character based side perk, which it seems to be, so no major issues here. Willow no longer gets cold from low sanity. Another blessing bestowed upon us this fine day. Willow can now be actively insane in winter and spring without any temperature associated issues. Granted, she can no longer use this to her advantage during summer, so this change isn't entirely a buff, but since you can still just hop into the caves to negate the heat entirely during summer, I'd say this change is overall a positive one. Winter gear is slightly less effective on Willow. This is the first unique perk that hasn't existed in previous versions of Willow, and it's definitely interesting. Hand in hand with this attribute are a couple of others. Willow takes more damage and loses sanity at freezing temperatures, and Willow takes longer to overheat and less damage when overheated. These abilities make Willow more adept at surviving summer, and less so at lasting throughout winter, which does bring back some of the themes from her pre-rework state. Altogether, I would consider these changes to be a nerf to Willow, since, as I said before, summer's cons can still be negated by chilling in the dark chasm that forms the caves. All in all, I'm not a huge fan of season-based perks, as they only affect the character during certain parts of the year, which can be kind of lackluster, especially since this is Willow's major downside. Willow takes no burn damage when extinguishing smouldering fires, and does it faster than others. This is another season-based perk, as smouldering only occurs during summer naturally, and can be avoided by chilling in the caves or the alien desert, so it's not that huge of an upside, but it is still fun for building character. Adding fuel to fires is 50% more effective. This is a rather large perk. 50% extra is more than you might think, and it actually makes one log enough to survive an entire night in some cases. And now for what you've all been waiting for, Burnie Changes. Burnie can now be equipped in Willow's hand slot for sanity and warmth, which drains his durability over time. This is a slight counter to Willow's decreased survivability during winter, and as Burnie is currently the only insulating hand slot item, this stacks effectively with other winter items. And most anticipated of all, while a Willow is nearby and insane, up to 1 Burnie per Willow will grow to immense size and begin to defend Willow from any attacking enemy, including shadow creatures. Big Burnie deals 50 damage and has 2000 health in this form. When killed, he will revert to his normal small Burnie status, and is repairable with a sewing kit. In a multiplayer scenario, this can lead to some absolutely ridiculous late-game mass Burnie farms, of anything ranging from nightmare creatures to monsters born from houses such as bunnymen, pigmen, or splamunkies. This method isn't as reliable or as powerful as Wickerbottom's books, or Winnows catapults, but it's considerably cheaper, and if you get a lot of friends to join you, you can start farming immediately, as every Willow player starts with their own Burnie. Any excess Burnies on the floor will still hobble around and distract shadow creatures when any character is insane nearby. Overall, these changes have definitely been a positive shift for Willow as a character, although she isn't as powerful as reworked Winona or Wartox, which are the two other characters who are newly updated, which is definitely interesting. People have been theorizing that the new characters and reworked characters are being made more powerful as the new content planned to be introduced this year is going to be much more difficult than the base game. Willow's rework doesn't exactly fit this theoretical scope. She isn't bad in the slightest, just not at the same level of power as Winona and Wartox. All in all, it is nice to see a return of Willow's original purpose in the game. She has a lot of boons which could assist new players during early game. Her lighter, while not infinite like it used to be, is still a free light source, and Burnie can help new players pretty much deal entirely with insanity, which is something they might want to avoid, although Burnie killing shadow creatures doesn't refill Willow's sanity, which might result in new players getting stuck insane. Along with Willow's update came a number of new skins. Willow has received an unsettling Tragic Dolls skin set, which is purchasable along with the rest of her previous non-event skins. Additionally, the ghastly attic chest has been shipped, which contains a beautiful brolly, a spooky sterling lighter, and a Burnie skin Ashley. Anyway, that's all for now, so see you in the next video.